Welcome to the Learning Tree Book Club. It's a it's a club that we read from for 1.5 hours. My name is Mariam Yusuf. I am 12 and I live in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
My name is Selma Yusuf, and I'm in third grade. I live in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
My name is Meredith Coleman McGee, and I'm also a member of the Learning Tree Book Club, and I live in Jackson, Mississippi.
And I am Vicki Jenkins, and I'm also a member of the Learning Tree Book Club, and I live in Jackson, Mississippi.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dickie Timothy Brown Sr. of New Horizons Church International. I'm just here to support the Learning a Tree of Book Club, a community library. I'm here to support Miss Mariner Coleman McGee. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, and happy listening. Okay, so Miriam, Solomon, y'all can go, and then Geneva, you'll be ready after that.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay, so y'all could tell us, you reading your own poetry, or
Yeah, I'm reading my own poem.
okay, we just love it.
It's some poems about snow because it snowed not too long ago.
Okay, what's the title? I'm gonna put it in the chat.
It's called Dust of Snow.
Dust of snow. All right. Okay, get it.
Okay. The way a crow shook down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree, has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of the day I had rued.
You got another one?
Yes. It's
What's the
called
name?
the Snowbird.
Get it.
Okay. All when the ground with snow is white, the merry snowbird comes, and hops about with great delight to find the scattered crumbs. How glad he is! He seems to get to eat a piece of cake or bread. He wears no shoes upon his feet, nor that hat upon his head. But the happiest is he, I know, because no cares with bars kept him from walking on the snow and printing it with the stars.
Okay, very good. Okay, Solomon, what you got, girl?
So I got some of my poems too, and they're all about like February.
Oh, what's the name of it?
February.
Okay, good.
The sun rises higher. The sun rises higher every trip. The sidewalk shows icy drip. A snowstorm comes and cars are stuck. Although road salt flies from the old town truck. Chickens grow plumps on a seed that mother pours where they can feed. A snipping, scissors run to cut out hearts for everyone.
Okay, very good. You got another one?
Let me see. Yes, I do.
Okay, what's the name of it?
All of them are called February.
Oh, okay, that's very unique.
February is the month with least amount of days. Although it's the shortest month, it's special in many ways. We celebrate the ones we love and send them a boutique with lots of heart-shaped candy. One is Valentine's Day.
Ah, Can't wait. All right. Well, thank you. Well, Geneva, are you ready?
I also have two poems. My first one is called Scared of the Future.
Okay, say that one more time, Geneva, please.
Scared of the Future.
Oh, scared of the future.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Some may be optimistic about me. Some may despise me. What am I? You guessed it. I was trying to have a disguise. Hey, I'm future. You may think of flying cars, humans on Mars, advanced nuclear bombs. Climate change is definitely not calm. Hearing this, I suspect you would be hiding, but there's no use. I'm quickly coming. It's nothing personal, not personal at all. It's just time, and the past will surely fall. A lot of people have trauma, but seriously, it's all just drama. It's not my fault if I'm dangerous. It's up to what the humans do, whether terrible or painless. So before blaming me for all the things you do, think about how you impact me, because I'm coming soon.
Okay, very good. You all are just amazing authors, writers, poets.
Thank you.
What's your second one?
My second one is called Ablaze.
Say that again.
Ablaze.
Oh, Ablaze. I got you. Okay.
Tell me a story, Ablaze. Tell me a story from long, long ago, when empires existed and suspenses could flow, when knights in armor existed and castle towers up high, before airplanes existed that flew in the sky. Then perhaps a story of dangerous yet amazing courage. But I must warn you, it has some surreal parts. It's not perfect. Once there was a raid in a democratic state. The army was getting their weapons, but they were a tad bit late. As they came out of their shelter, they came across a horrifying sight. A fog covered the land, as if it was a pitch black night. The warriors looked around concerningly and curiously, but right before their eyes, a ring of fire appeared around them, raging furiously. They saw as house after house went into a blaze, until one brave one took off her helmet and revealed her face. Her fellow warriors gasped in surprise. "Thy is a female!" they exclaimed as she jumped and arrived. "Yes, what is the reason for these shock?" she said, looking back. Then she jumped, leaving no trail or track. She drew her sword and shield with pride, a beam of hope and truth inside. She slashed the foul, low-life enemies one by one. I know this is violence, but really, it was bravery at heart. Then she grabbed a water bucket and spread the water throughout the town, putting out all the fires, from the mansions to the sheds way down. Soon, the raiders retreated, knowing well that they were completely defeated. And atop the castle tower, there she stood. She raised her sword to show that they had won, and the empire surged with happiness and good. Her hair flew in the wind as the fog cleared. She jumped off and met with her team without being asked again. And to that very day, she became the nation's hero. The moral of the story is that no matter your gender or skin, you can be awesome, even a hero like her, and have battles to win.
Geneva, very good. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sure.
So what was why did you name the story Ablaze, and who was the main character in this story?
Okay, so the reason I called it Ablaze is because I wanted to give it like an interesting touch, especially since like a ring of fire appeared around them and everything was like in shambles because of the raiders. And the main character in the story is, she doesn't have a specific name that I've thought of at the moment, but it's like this female warrior, and no one actually knew that she was a female because back then women were not considered those things, like to be those things except mothers or housewives and stuff. But she showed her true bravery and was able to save the nation.
Oh, okay. So she's a woman warrior,
Yeah.
the main character, and you haven't named her. Okay, this is very interesting.
Thank
Okay,
you.
well, thank you. I just thought I'd stop to ask. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you.
Okay, and Vicky, are you gonna read
Yeah, I start now. I am still finishing this story on No More Flinching. 5 steps of overcoming adversity. From day one, I knew something wasn't right. The moment I laid eyes on Miss Hattie Hawk, she maintained a forced smile. When I saw her, excuse me, when I saw, excuse me, when I saw our social worker introduced her to us as our new temporary foster mom, we stood there like wooden puppets in the dim living room, perfectly overshadowing the next few moments in her care, overshadowing the next few months in her care. The only thing I was content with was with DHS managing to keep the junior and me together, since there had been a long talk about having to separate us. It was hard keeping siblings together. Looking back, I realized that DHS won a strong argument to keep us in the same household, since we were brother and sister. Miss Hattie Hawk deserved an Oscar for how happy she looked to see us. It didn't take long for her to show her true colors. After our social worker left, as quick as one could snap their finger, the real Miss Hawk revealed herself. She was a medium build, dark-skinned, elderly woman. Few words. She spoke with authority. She was someone you didn't want to try. She didn't like kids at all. Matter of fact, she hated for us to be in her house. She would tell us to go outside and not to come back in until it was time for bed. I did enjoy the freedom of being outside on the farm all day, but it was much strange not to be able to go inside, even when I needed to use the bathroom. She had a family member who lived there named Chris. Chris had a medium complexion and thin build. His clothing were like scraps. Chris was younger than us, and he was wild. Chris called himself showing my brother and me the ropes. He would go to the side of the house and squat. He would do his business, clean himself with leaves. Junior and I looked at each other in amazement. I knew my brother, we had telepathic moments. We were both thinking the word disgusting. Chris was very creative in his different ways. He used the bathroom outside. He would sometimes climb the top of the roof and let it fall from the sky. We were speechless. I felt very uncomfortable being a young girl doing things outside that I would be able to do inside in private. Even though she ordered us to come inside once a day, one day I had to sneak into the boldness. I walked to the door and asked her, could I use the bathroom inside one day? Go on and use the bathroom, old going to use the bathroom, old-faced woman yelled, "Gal." She responded in a disgruntled manner. I never knew what to think her calling that. It hurt me that once again, there was nothing I could do about it. Anytime she needed me, she would call me. Those words hurt just as bad as being called dumb and stupid. Miss Hattie Hawk, the house was a farm packed with pigs, chickens, horses, cows. Junior, Chris, and I were very familiar with the pigs. Even when it came time to get together for food, she would load us up in the truck. Back then, we rode in the front. Back then, we rode in the back with no seatbelt. To describe the first run, she would pick up the pack of groceries and put it in a small window. The person at the window would ask her what she needed for the food, and Miss Hawk responded saying that she needed it for her hogs. They would give her tons of food, all mushed and mixed together. She would dump it in a barrel. When we got back to the farm, she would hop off the truck. She would tell us to go get our share of food first. My brother and I were in complete disarray. What did she mean? Get our shares? Without hesitation, Chris dug in picking out a cinnamon roll. Little Debbie, snack, and food that did not look good and did not look anything, did not look as molded. My stomach was weak. Most of the food was mixed together, outdated, and molded in the moist places. We were forced to choose that we would eat out of the slop we fed her hogs. We went on several runs afterwards, each time equally as disgusting. We couldn't wait till our social worker came to visit us again and ask us how we were doing. God intervened before that was possible. One day, Ms. Hawk walked into the store and left Junior and me inside of the car for too long. We almost died of her heat exhaustion. We made the news, and once again, we were on our way back through another endless cycle of going from the shelter, foster home, and back to the house. Oftentimes, we lived in the shelter between transitions. It was the best option outside of living with our grandparents. However, eventually the shelter life came to a revolving door. It treated us in such a manner that we appeared to have exceeded our stay. I love the fact that I had my own toothbrush, toothpaste, mouthwash. Even today, opening a new mouthwash often takes me back to the first time. I had my first shelter, and first time I had my shelter, I had toiletries, clothes, and even pajamas. I first learned the way to pack video games that was well. My favorite game was Mario Brothers. I loved watching cartoons in the morning with the Smurfs and Jim. Even everything was on the strict schedule. And we went to bed early, super early. For the umpteenth time, our social worker transported us yet to another foster home. Miss Owens' house was a little different. She was our most absolute favorite foster home of them all. Miss Owens was nice woman, medium complexion. She made sure me and Junior were treated nicely. Her daughter name was Tanya, who was also really rather nice to us. They made sure that we were fed, bathed, and clothed properly. They were nice home. This was a nice homely field at Miss Owens' house. There was almost nothing bad to say about our stay there, except that one day it was someone's birthday. Everyone was excited and getting dressed to attend. Junior and I knew that we were not going because we weren't getting dressed. We were left sitting in the living room to watch TV. Before long, everyone headed out of the door with big smiles. Before long, everyone headed out with big smiles in anticipation of having a good time. All of them belonged to a family. Their presence mattered. Junior and I sat staring at the TV screen, feeling abandoned. At that moment, I realized that no place was truly safe. The cycle continued. Junior and I traveled from home to home. As we went from door to door, as we went door to door, the rap sheet of who we were when we came from our experience. We discussed before initial greeting, one of the lady particular whose name I don't recall, made sure we felt eerie and weird. She touched me in the wrong place. Positioned me on top of. She touched me in the wrong place, in the wrong position. She should not have done. And glad when she stopped. A lot of my memory was suppressed and resurfaced like flashes. Sometimes I did think that I made myself most tragedies. I tried to force a moment away before one of them were too horrible to think of because two were gruesome to forget. I finished that chapter. You want to start on another one? Meredith?
What? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't have my, I was unmuted. I can go now or either Mary, you want to go or you want me to go? I could.
Today, I'm listening.
Okay, I'll go then. Okay, so I'm going to read a few paragraphs in the chapter of my new book, a biography on Billie Holiday. So Miriam and Solomon and Geneva, have you all ever heard of Billie Holiday?
No.
What about you, Geneva?
No, I haven't.
I'm not surprised, right? Because she's a historical figure, and she died 64 years ago, which was before I was born. And I'm gonna just try to tell you a little bit about her. You ever heard of jazz music or blues?
Yes, I play a little sometimes on guitar.
Oh, really? Jazz or blues?
Not really jazz, so that's saxophone, but I have like played blues progressions.
Okay, but you have played a little jazz. What instrument do you play?
Like I haven't played jazz. I have heard of it. I do play like what was it? Piano, guitar, and a little bit of ukulele sometimes. I'm not very good at ukulele though. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow, you play 3 instruments. So Billie Holiday became the defining voice in jazz 1933. She was 18 years old and she lived in Harlem, which was a center part at that time of jazz. Although jazz actually started uh, before she was born, like in 1915 in New Orleans in the South, and it grew out of from blues and ragtime music, which came from um, the music that was sung by blacks in the fields during the institution of slavery, and our music came from West Africa. We were playing instruments in West Africa before we ever came here. Anyway, she became part of the Harlem Renaissance, and she became famous by the time she was 23 years old. She had a fifth grade education, and she became uh, she had a new sound. That's why she was offered a record deal when she was 18 years old for Columbia Records. And she was discovered by a man named John Hammond, who was the grandson of a man that owned a railroad in Staten Island, New York. Well, anyway, I was going to read I'll read the endorsements for the book. The first one came from um, a musician where I live. I live in Jackson, Mississippi. He doesn't live in Jackson, but he lives in Mississippi. But he's a member of the Central Mississippi Blues Society. He's a musician and a performer. And this is what he wrote about. He read this book before it was released last year. It was released a few weeks ago on the 14th of this month. And this is what he wrote. I just read Billie Holiday, jazz singer, a biography of Lady J. What a great book. The author covers so much information in this book. It reads easily as well. I learned so much from this wonderful biography and feel like I met Billie Holiday. All the great pictures are just a bonus. And that's what he said. Now, another endorsement came from someone named Ronald Shelton. He's a member of the Pensacola Jazz Society, and he's also a jazz music collector. He was a teenager when some of the greats were playing in Washington D.C. He worked at the theater there when they would come in, and they would sometimes give him tickets to their concerts, like Charlie Parker and Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington, Sarah Vaughan, different names. And this is what he wrote. Billie Holiday, jazz singer, is an excellent, informative, inspirational, and musically historically accurate book, which is a must read for jazz lovers. And Howard Mandel in Chicago He's an author, editor, and the president of the Jazz Journalists Association. This is what he wrote. Meredith Coleman McGee's portrait of American icon Billie Holiday is intimate and unflinching as it details her life and music in the context of 20th century race relations, drug use and abuse, rackets and jazz business, and complicated relations with her family and friends. As an introduction to the great singer's place in history and the present, is highly relatable to readers now. And another one came from Malcolm Shepard. He's the president of the Central Mississippi Blues Society, which I myself am a member of. And this is what he wrote. I just finished reading Billie Holiday, jazz singer. What a wonderful and refreshing look at her. Her life was chronicled in such a refreshing way. The lows and highs of her life were given true meaning, which showed the promise music provides to healing. Okay, I get two more, and I think my time will be up. Okay, this is Arcel Kabayan. I missed to pronounce it. I'm sorry. Director of Education, Restoration, Dance Youth Assemble, Artistic Director, and this is at the Billie Holiday Theater in Brooklyn, New York. And this is what he wrote. As Plato once said, books give a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. I found Meredith Coleman McGee's Billie Holiday Jazz Singer, a biography of Lady Day, that's her nickname, to be an extraordinary and exceptional book, which shares the incredible life of Billie Holiday. May the gardenias in the garden continue to bloom for the next generation of artists who have a passion for the arts and revolution. Now, these are gardenias in her hair. That was her signature look. She always wore gardenias in her hair when she performed, and many times her fans would bring her the gardenias for her hair and for her to keep. They just loved her. And the last one that I have here is by Dr. Laura Patillo. She is a music program manager at the Count Basie Center for the Arts. Well, Count Basie was a leader of a big band in jazz during her time. And this is what and the Count Basie Center for the Arts is in Redwood, New Jersey, which was where Count Basie was from. And this is what she wrote. Meredith Coleman McGee's scholarly book, Billie Holiday Jazz Singer, is a loving and sincere reflection of the genius of Lady Day, whose contributions to jazz are unparalleled. This intimate work, which beautifully summarizes struggles and accomplishments of this incredible artist, spans her life from childhood through her 30-year career to her untimely death in 1959. The book honors how her musical interpretations and inspirations changed our world forever. This book is a must-read for fans of Billie Holiday and jazz music scholars. And I'm gonna stop there and let one of you all read. Do you have any questions? Either one of you? Okay. So Miriam, you can start and we'll go back through the same. Mary, was you reading? Oh, you go ahead. Did you have something to read, Mary? Okay. Oh, Okay. Go ahead, Marianne.
Okay.
Okay. And tell me what you read, I'll type it in the chat.
Another one of my poems. It's called Snowflakes. Snowflakes spill from heaven's hand, lovely and chastic, like smooth white sand. A veil of wonder, laced in light, falling gently on a winter's night. Gracefully beauty, raining down, giving magic to the lifeless ground. Each snowflake, like a falling star, smiling beautifully, that's spun afar. Till earth is dressed in a robe of white, unspoken poem, the hush of night.
Got another one?
Yes. It's called Snow Kisses. If you go out when it's snowing and look up at the sky, you'll feel lots of icy kisses as the snowflakes flutter by.
Okay. Thank you for that. And can you tell us what were you looking at when you wrote your poem?
I have a document where I put all my poems on so I can keep track of how many I've written. And I put them in order so it's easier for me to like find the specific poems I'm working on and the ones I finished.
How many have you written so far? And when did you actually start writing poetry?
I think I've written about 20 poems so far.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Getting down through there. Thank you for that. You ready, Solomon?
Yeah.
Okay.
The funny little groundhog digs a home in the fall and hides there all winter, rolled up in a ball. On February 2nd, he comes out of there to look at the sky and smell the smelly air.
Okay. You got another one?
Yeah. This one is called Valentine's. I see Valentine's red, pink, and white, roses, cards, and candies fill up my sight. A day full of love, family, and friends. To what matters and most is that I love you.
Oh, that's nice. No explanation needed on that one. So you have a tablet, you recording your poems on a tablet or on paper? You know, like a tablet, computer tablet. Yours on paper or on the computer?
It's on a tablet.
Okay, that's what. Okay, very good. And how many have you written now?
10.
Oh, very good. Because you started last year writing poetry, right?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay, Miss Geneva, what you got?
I have a book I made called Words of Hope.
Words of Hope.
Yes.
Okay, I get it. Go ahead.
Chapter 1, The Letter. I sit near the fireplace at my house on my couch, sketching the crisp last leaves of fall as they drift and glide to the crunchy and leafy ground. I start to add depth to the tree by shading it. Then I hear a knock on the door. I turn around. I carefully walked towards my front door, and decided to take a little peek at who was there, without them noticing I'm taking a look. It appears to be a tall woman holding an envelope. Seems like the postwoman, I think. I opened the door and she handed the envelope over to me. I nodded to say thank you and closed the door. I walked towards the couch and let my feet happily warm at the fireplace. I opened the note slowly from its navy blue envelope. The heading is manuscripting in shiny gold ink. Ooh, fancy, I marveled. I slowly pull out the whole note and I read it out loud. To Aisha Leo, you have been chosen to compete in the regional finals at Newark State Spelling Bee. You're going to be competing with other fifth graders. The spelling bee will take on October 23rd, 2023 at Welltops Elementary at 2 p.m. Good luck. I squeal with joy. I leap out of happiness. Yay, I can't believe it. I've been chosen, I exclaim. I sprint over to my dad's office where he and my mom are currently. I merrily tell them the amazing news. They too become very happy. I have to practice right away, I say, and run over to my study room and learn new words from books in my computer. I read some words from a fifth grade dictionary and look at sight words and memorize them. I smile as my mom helps me test my skills and spell the selected word correctly. Chapter 2, Anticipation. The spelling bee gets nearer and nearer every passing day. Now, it's only 1 week away. My anticipation is really high now. My tummy has an odd sensation and feeling, a combination of nervousness and excitement for the spelling bee. I decided to practice some of my spelling words for one of the last times. I look up the words I have struggled on in the past. What about abrupt? That got me a tad bit confused, so I practiced that one. A-B-R-U-P-T, abrupt. I got it. Then I try something else. I know there are a few words that get me confused, so there's a funny warm-up I like to do sometimes. Well, at least I think it's a funny warm-up. I spell the longest word in the dictionary. Newman Ultra Microsoft is still volcaniconiosis. I laugh at the thought, but I do it anyway. Well, right now, I'm gonna see if I can try to spell it. P-N-U-M-O-N-O-U-L-T-R-A-M-I-C-R-O-S-C-O-V-O-L-C-A-N-O-C-O-N-I-O-S-I-S. I chuckle. Now I can tackle any word, I said. I practiced obnoxious pathology and exclamation. The chilly breeze swept along outside. Whoosh, whoosh. Then I hear a knock on my door, like I did before when I received the spelling bee letter. It's the exact same postwoman. She hands me another note with the same color envelope. I close the door. The color of the envelope is navy blue, just like the last one. Probably from the same people that sent me the spelling bee invitation, I think. I open it up. It reads, to all participants of Newark State Spelling Bee, the day of the spelling bee has been changed. It is now on 13th of October 2023 at 2 p.m. So it's like 10 days earlier. Thank you for understanding. I gasped and put the note back in the envelope. That's tomorrow. Today's the 12th of October, I cried. Then I realized that what I'm practicing will be the last time I can. So I work extra hard on my words, making sure that I perfect every single word and don't stutter or take a stop in every word. I'm ready now. Chapter 3, The Spelling Bee. The spelling bee is today. Yes, today. I get ready, making sure I look nice and that I am confident. I know that I've worked hard doing my spelling words, and I am so ready. I recently learned that the spelling bee lasts from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., so it will last 2 or 3 hours. But I'm fine with that. My mom gets me in the car and drives me to the elementary school where the spelling bee takes place. I've been to that elementary school before, but I don't study there. I'm online schooled, but my cousin does. She's a bit older than me, but she'll be participating in the spelling bee as well. We're going to cheer each other on. My mom encourages me, so I don't get scared. I'm not often in events like this. The elementary school isn't that far away, thankfully, so I won't be last minute. Great. My mom reaches me to the elementary school, so where the spelling bee is going to happen. I open the car door and step out. My boots crunch on the crisp, colorful leaves as I walk on 2 small concrete stairs to the elementary school. I look back. My mom smiles at me and gives me a thumbs up. I did the same and nodded. She's going to come too, but through a different entrance for the parents who are a part of the audience. I turn to face the transparent glass doors in the elementary school. I sigh. Time to do this, I say bravely and confidently. I open the door and there's a slight creak. I slowly enter the school. There's a nice yet unfamiliar feeling and ambience when I do. I walk to the door that reads spelling bee. I open that door. I am one of the first people in the room, and I stand in the middle of a wall, which is a space that hasn't been taken yet. I look around. My parents are there, all the other parents are there, all the teachers are there, and even the principal is there. Someone walks over and sits next to me, and she gets really close to me. I feel uncomfortable. A stranger, literally scooting me over. Hey, I say to her, please go a bit further back. You're going past my boundaries by getting that close to me. Oh, sorry, she says quietly and scoots over. Now the panel of judges arrive and sit in their chairs. Oh gosh, this is so official, I think to myself. Riley Douglas, since one of the judges, and a girl not too far away pays attention closely when hearing her name. Spell library. Library, library, she says. The judge looks down at his paper and then looks back up. That is correct. The audience gives a round of applause as she happily skips back to her spot. Next, Muhammad Jayed, says another judge. A boy with dark brown hair walks up. Spell delinquent. 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 He spells that long word with confidence. That is correct, said the judge, and there is another round of applause as he walks back to his spot. Wonder how many rounds of applause there will be. There's quite a few people here who have a good chance of getting the words correct, I think. Next, Sarah Delira, says the judge. Spell camouflage. Camofflage, camouflage, Sarah says. That is incorrect, says the judge. She walks over to the area for the disqualified. A few in the audience say, "Aw." I stand patiently in my spot waiting for my turn and trying to spell their words in my head so I can get ready for mine. And then my turn comes. Aisha Leo, says the judge. I look at her. It's my turn now. Spell paleontology, the judge says. I remember from watching spelling bees on TV that when a contestant is asked to spell paleontology, they mess up and are disqualified. So I'm a bit nervous. I can do this, I encourage myself silently. This is my only shot at this word. Paleontology. Paleontology, I say, immensely hoping that I got it correct. There's a slightly solemn silence for a few moments that falls over the crowd. Finally, the judge says, "That is correct," she says, and the audience gives an extra big round of applause. I smile happily. I have managed to spell one of the hardest words for 5th grade. Many students' mouths agape as they watch me walk back to my spot. Time flies as more and more people spell, including me. Thankfully, I've got all the words I've been asked to spell correctly, and now I've made it into the finals, in which only the best spellers present complete, and I am one of them. I'm first, and my name is called. Spell knowledge. The judge said, Knowledge, knowledge, I say. That is correct, the judge says, and there's a round of applause once more. Yes, I whisper to myself. I just realized that now it's down to the final 3. I take a deep breath and gulp. Mike Peterson, the judge calls out. Spell applause. I see a small drop of sweat falling from Mike's face. Applause. Applause? He says with great uncertainty. That is incorrect, says the judge, as Mike waddles glumly into the disqualified zone. I have a slight and unnoticeable face of contempt. Now it's down to the final 2. And my final opponent is a rude, yet quite intelligent girl academically. Her name is Kayla. She often bullies me for my skin colors and some others too. Mostly my friends when me and my friends play together. Just because she's white doesn't mean that she can make fun of blacks or browns. We're all equal. It's quite a pity that she just has to be a sophisticated and respectful spelling bee. But I'm ready to face her. I'm not scared and I hope I'll do good. Kayla is first. Kayla Larson, the judge announces. Spell difficult. Difficult, difficult, Kayla says. That is correct. It's my turn now. Aisha Leo. Spell sapling. The judge told me. Sapling, sapling, I say. That is correct. This judge says, I have to start 100 spelling bee could last. I start to have a hunch that the spelling bee could last a long time between me and Kayla. Kayla Larson. Spell enunciate. 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 Kayla stutters nervously. That is incorrect, says the judge. Kayla gasps loudly. I try not to do anything awkward. Aisha Lang, spell enunciate. If you get this word right, you will be declared as the Norfolk State Spelling Bee champion. The judge exclaims. Oh gosh, I said quietly. Then I remember something. I can spell enunciate. My PE coach always helped me to enunciate. I tend to talk very quickly sometimes. Enunciate. Enunciate, I say, hoping that I got the word correct. That is correct. Congratulations, the judge says. The crowd gives a round of applause. I have actually done it. I have won the spelling bee. I feel so accomplished and proud of myself. Chapter 4, Accomplishments. When me and my mom get out of school, my mom squeezes me in a big hug. Well done, I'm so proud of you, she says to me happily. Thanks, Mom, I exclaim. I nearly dropped the certificate that I'm holding on tightly to, so it doesn't fly away in the fall breeze. She drives us to the local coffee shop, and we get a few cake pops and hot chocolate for me. I smile and close my eyes as I sip on the warm and sweet hot chocolate. I realize something important. After learning and spelling so many words, I learn the meaning of words. They are powerful. They can cause emotions and feelings, even independence and liberty. They can create hope after darkness, hope after atrocity. So I decided that I will use words to inspire others and create hope in the world. After all, like they say, the pen is mightier than the sword. The end.
Okay, Vicky, you read it next.
Okay. Sitting on pins and needles, holding my breath, feeling stressed, anxious, and feeling perfectly frightened, describe my feelings at any time I was around my dad. Nothing was new with report cards. Junior had straight A's. I had C's, D's, F, and an A in art. My teachers felt sorry for me, coming to school with broken arms, black eyes, and bruises. They just passed me along from grade to grade. There was no way I could have passed every grade with F's I earned. Dad was so heavy on grades, those days would have been much longer. Those days would have been much lighter on the beatings. We had already experienced Mom having a nervous breakdown. Throughout the years, Dad had got shot in the leg 6 times from an encounter with a crazed man. I remember the hospital staff rolling him in on the stretcher, his leg wrapped in black trash bags as they rushed him to surgery. I had hoped he didn't make it through. I knew I was wishing a horrible place to wish those kinds of things about my own father. One day, as he sat in his favorite recliner and after eating some chili, moments later, he started out coughing uncontrollably. Carlotta, he yelled, did you poison me? I looked at him and said, no. Immediately after I answered him, I wondered why I didn't even think of that. I remember thinking at the age of 12, I wish I had. Turned out he had just had food poisoning, just because he had eaten a bad can of chili. Dad didn't care about the DHS. He cussed them out and told them where he could still discipline us. They were afraid of him. We had no hope. Even when the police arrived right next door to, even when the police were living right next door to us, the officer never said anything about a disturbance. He never came to our rescue. Mom had been spending a lot of time away from the house. She would walk out in the house dressed like a model, off going to hit a runway. She had athletic build and with natural flowing hair down her back to her hips. Her skin was beautiful. Skin was beautiful, and she had nothing on her face but a hit of lipstick. She always smelled fresh. One day, she went to the mall and purchased over $200 in makeup, fashion fair, cosmetics. I figured she wanted to be even fancier. The next day, she got up early to make up her face. She cried her eyes out because she wouldn't apply the makeup. I knocked on the door and told her that she could do it. I had never applied makeup before. I figured that since I could draw good in art, I could make up Mom's face. I was right. Painting, her face was in perfection. From the foundation to the eyeshadow, liner, mascara, blush, lipstick. I did it all. And I did it and it looked magnificent. The following months ahead, making up my mom's face, it was my job. Making up my mom's face was my job before school, which was something I loved doing. Mom would hardly ever be home during the rough times. As I got older, I became more aware. Mom was the only person besides Junior who I was comfortable talking to. I felt so much relief going to work with her. I learned Mom was doing personal home assistance work after her full-time job with a man named Mr. LeBlanc. Mr. LeBlanc lived in the house. He lived in a nice, huge house, in a dark wood. I never would have been inside the house. I liked that other than my grandparents' home. Mr. LeBlanc's arm had been amputated from elbow down. That was the first time I had ever laid eyes on an amputee. He used those mechanical artificial arms and pinched the artificial arms that pinched at the end of like a clamp. He appeared to be really nice, and I ate well at his house. On a random day, Mom left to go to the store. Mr. LeBlanc asked me to put baby oil on his legs. As I rubbed the baby oil, he asked me to place it on his genital area and do other inappropriate things. I knew what he asked me to do was wrong, so I walked out of the room and left him lying there. He followed me to the bathroom and knocked on the door asking me to lift my shirt and show my breasts. He said that if I did, he would give me money. He said if I did, he would give me money, give me some money. As soon as Mom returned, I told her what had happened. He told me that she would take care of it. She told me that she would take care of it. And I didn't have to come back anymore. My other siblings, I took turns going to Mr. LeBlanc's house. My other siblings took turns going to Mr. LeBlanc's house. Although I didn't want to return to Mr. LeBlanc's house, I did not want to stay home either. Dad and his lady friend were friendly with each other. He would flirt with one of his singers. I thought I saw. He would flirt with one of his singers in his band in front of us. The house would be packed with different people, and it reeked and incensed marijuana. Junior and I would hit the door to walk out in the neighborhood. A few times, Junior and I went with Mom over to work her primary job. I believe she kept away from the house to prevent us from getting beaten. I'll never forget that day Dad accused us of eating too much food from the dish he made, eating too much food from the dish he made. He ate half and wanted the four of us to split one plate and leave a large amount for Mom. He hadn't made it home. He had a large house for Mom who had not made it home. Of course, we were hungry and ate more than it would have, and ate more, but it wasn't that much more of a dip. See, I can't even talk. Would not make much more of a difference. When she arrived home, there was no food left for her. She started to whip us for eating her share, but Mom spoke up and said she got it and called us back to the room. She took out her belt and told us to cry loud, like she was hitting us. She was actually hitting the laundry clothes and in the garbage bags. Mom wasn't perfect, but she knew that she did not stand for us to be abused. She truly appreciated our mom. We truly appreciated our mom for helping us out that day. Although I did not want to accompany her when she went back to Mr. LeBlanc's house, I had an associate named Mr. Roberts. Mr. Roberts drove the old model Grand Marquis that smelled like old stale peanuts. Mr. Robert established himself as being a friend of Mom's, and that she was someone who had helped him because he was old. Someone who she helped because he was old. After he saw Mom and me, the two of us, he felt like he knew me. Around 1992, Mom told him I would try to make the honor roll. He told me and my mom at the same time that I would never make the honor roll. He said that I felt like a failure before even trying. I felt like a failure before even trying. He made it hard for me to ever forget. He said that to me. Mr. Robert was cool and creepy, and at the same time, he was more frequent in his the more we frequented his home, the more he got comfortable with me. He once asked me to allow him to do something to me for $2. And again, I told my mom that was the last time I went with her to her other jobs. It seemed like it was taking forever for my 18th birthday. I had 6 whole long years to go before stepping out into the world. Thank God a change in the weather came early. Mom went to me before everything. She shared with me before we were leaving Dad. She shared with me before we were leaving Dad. I was so happy. However, a part of me thought that she was playing. Just as I got a reaction, over the next couple of days. We packed up our clothes, black plastic bags, as if we were going to the laundry. We had several packed bags in every room around the house. Luckily, he never noticed the bags. The day came when it was time to make a run for it. We spent about a week preparing for it. This day, the plan was well thought out and very strategic. Dad happened to be sleeping in his favorite chair. That morning, fully reclined in a snoring. We carried the bags out one by one and went, and he never woke and he never opened his eyes. We moved in silence, holding our breaths as we tipped through the house. This was the life or death case in my eyes. If he woke up and realized that what was happening, we would see the worst of Carl Taylor Sr. We would see the worst of Carl Taylor Sr. He didn't wake at all the entire time. We successfully moved everyone and all the things out of the house, all of the bags out of the house. We gasped for air and rode in the car. We were headed to my mother's hometown, Brookhaven, Mississippi. We started at the house, ensuring that we would no longer be. We stared at the house, ensuring that there would be no sign of him running out of the house to catch us, to chase us. We got as far as we could. Mom packed the car, looked at her with the words, "What's wrong?" written in her face. "What's wrong?" written all over my face. "I left my purse," she whispered, "my driver's license, and all my money in my purse." She had to go back, disappointed. I dropped my head. No way could she drive and get a purse without waking him up, and him beating us all beating all of us to death. However, Mom had a better plan. Instead of driving back, she got out of the car and walked back to the house. We waited right there. Just as soon as she got a plastic bag filled with clothes, we did not move a muscle, just waited. That was the bag. That was the longest walk in the history to me. I watched her walk down the street as she made it, and as she made it right, straight. We could still see her through the wire fence across the lawn that felt like forever, waiting to learn whether she was lucky or not, was okay or not. Time stood still until she finally walked out of the house. I made sure I watched her back to make sure that she would not sneak up on her. Mom walked away and never looked back. She made it with her purse. She handed it off and we drove to Big Mama's house. I had no idea we were getting stopped off Mama's. I had no idea we were getting dropped off at Mom's. Gave us a big hug. We did not see her until the next year. At least she didn't leave us in his care. At that was better than abandoning it. That was better than abandoning us altogether. I figured at this care, this was better. She needed some time to get herself together, get herself situated.
Oh, big.
Huh?
We got about 10 minutes left.
Okay.
The stopping point.
Okay. Let me say, I can stop there.
Okay, that's kind of a really hard story you're reading. With the kids being abused and everything. I was just wondering, I wanted to ask Miriam and
Yeah.
side of mine, Geneva. So what are y'all thoughts on the children in this story and the kind of hard life they have to live in the foster care system?
Yeah, this is about her hard life. Yeah.
It's a true story.
Yeah, it's a true story.
Wow.
Did
Yeah.
anybody suffer anything like this?
Vic, and I was just asking them about what you read, what they thought about hearing and not about what their own life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They don't even want to answer. So
What?
it's too rough on it. Just tell me, is it hard to listen to it?
A little bit. I could hear partially what you're saying, but sometimes it
Glitches.
yeah.
Yeah, because even for me, it was with the trauma that the children were going through was kind of rough for me, and I'm much older than you are, so I was wondering how you all was taking, because she's been reading the story for about 3 months. Yeah, and sometimes to hear a child being beaten by their parents the way they going through, it's kind of rough. But anyway, yeah, it really happened. But I read the book myself. At the end, she does become a very successful adult, very successful. But she said that how many different foster homes that Did her and her brother live in?
How many close to home she lived in? She lived actually when she first started talking, she lived in the Magnolia, those Magnolia apartments, off Bailey.
No, I
What's
mean, how
those?
many different foster homes did she live in? One day, one.
Also, I think it was like 3, 4 foster homes she did live in.
Oh no, it was way more than that.
Unless I'm, it was 5 foster homes she did live in. She and her brother lived in 5 foster homes. And the
That's
social worker,
all.
huh?
That's
She
all.
lived in 5 foster homes. And then she would go back to the parents' house, and then they would come and get them and go back to the parents' house. So they lived in 5 foster homes.
Oh, that's okay. Okay. I don't know why I thought it was 30 or 40.
Now it was
when
5.
I read it. Okay. Okay. Well, anyway, whose turn is it to read now? And who reads after Vicky?
Sorry, what did you say?
Oh, you read after Vicky, Geneva?
Yeah, sure. I can.
Okay.
Let's see.
What's the name? Okay. So, go ahead, Geneva.
So I have a poem called Flying. So it's a spell for flying. It's flying. A hint of saffron, 1 frog spawn, a poisonous oak leaf, and 12 sun-dried peas, a dragon tear, and an old candle from a chandelier, a cup of fresh honey, and fur from a flying bunny. A mint plant and pyrite that is assumed to be gold and very grand, but they're different. Half a yellowed pencils and a few silver tinsels, a teaspoon of pitch black pen ink, and a butterfly wing. Make sure it's pink. A little rainbow eucalyptus bark, and black pepper that's extremely dark. Sprinkle some star speckles. They aren't easy to find. They are miracles. Now that all the ingredients have been put in, get outside and let it swirl in the wind. When it turns chartreuse, there is something you must diffuse. You'll notice that under the cauldron there's a bomb, and if you diffuse it, you'll be worth it all. There's 10 seconds left. Be quick. Don't let the bomb's explosion touch the ground and stick. If you diffuse it, sparkles appear in the air, and then they will swirl around and flare. Now all you have to say is Ragnarok, and then you'll be able to fly in clouds of fluff. However, there's a catch. Something that's often hidden like a safe in the latch. The pronunciation is often missaid, and if you do, you will soon be dead. Often Reagan poof is said, but that's truly incorrect, as if you ate a whole loaf of sourdough bread. It's Ragnarok, really not something you can mix up. If you don't correct yourself, you will puff up. After success, you will be able to fly through space and countries and through the sky.
Okay. Geneva,
Yes?
tell us give us a summary about this story and the characters in this story.
There aren't any specific characters, so it's about like spells. So you need like get ingredients so you can actually make the spell for something to do like flying or teleportation and things. So yeah, that's the main point.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, Miriam and Solomon, we got a few minutes left. You both can read a couple of your poems. I think we have time to, if you read 2 and she read 2, then that'll close us out.
Okay. I have a poem called Groundhog's Good News. Mr. Groundhog, come out and play. The day is cloudy, the sky is gray. Mr. Groundhog, don't you be shy. There's no sunshine up in the sky. Mr. Groundhog, look all around. There's no shadows upon the ground. Mr. Groundhog, tell everyone it won't be long until spring will come.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
But that's exactly what the groundhog does, doesn't it? Isn't it?
Yeah.
He predicts the seasons. Okay, what's your next one?
Okay. Next one is still about groundhogs. Cute little groundhog, what will you see when you awake on the 2nd of February? Will you see our shadow as you look around? Will the sun be shining and winter to be found? Or will the sun be gone and only clouds above? And the cheers ring out all over the spring is soon to come.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Solomon, you gonna take us out? Yeah, one or
I have a
two.
riddle.
I got two.
Okay, go ahead.
You're a good friend. You're funny and kind. Will you say yes and be my Valentine?
That was short and sweet.
Mhm.
Got one more?
Yeah. Four small kisses, six steps. So this one's called Valentine Recipe.
Say that again. Valentine's what?
Recipe.
Recipe. Okay.
Four small
Yeah.
kisses, six giant hugs, 1 cup of kindness, 3 cups of love, 5 tips of happiness, 5 tablespoons of happiness, 2 plus caring hearts.
Very good. Well, I really
Have a
enjoyed
riddle.
you all reading your poetry, and you know, I was telling someone the other day that some of the readers in the Learning Tree Book Club, they went from reading other people's books to reading their own writing to us, and I think it's just fabulous. And thank you so much. Mel, you wanted to say something? Go ahead.
Now, we've shared so much today. I have a riddle.
Okay.
Ooh.
What is it that you can give away, but still have it for yourself?
Kindness?
Name.
Wow.
That's a good one. Name.
Because we still have it, but
What was the riddle
Wow.
again?
All right, what
Joy.
is it that you
Joy.
can give away, but still have it for yourself?
Joy. Okay.
Y'all give?
Happiness.
What can others take, but you still can keep it for yourself?
No.
Words. A smile.
Hi, my baby. No.
You give? Knowledge. That
Oh,
Oh,
we
wow.
knowledge.
Yeah, that word was far from my mind. Knowledge. Okay, I got you.
Knowledge. Knowledge.
Okay, well, very good.
By the way, the Words of Hope that I read was based on like the holiday book.
Well, okay. Well, I'll see you intellectual giants next month. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of the Black History Month. And I hope you learn a lot this month. All right, see you guys later.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. See you next time.
Thank you. Thank you.